Lesson 3. Teaching in the 21st Century. Objectives. In today's lesson, 100% of the students with 75% level of proficiency shall be able to explain the importance of teaching in the 21st century, and differentiate engagement from entertainment in teaching students. Class, before we start our discussion, I will divide the class into two groups, and what they're going to do is to answer the questions that will be shown in front. Each group will be given 5 minutes to answer the following questions. Group 1 will be the first one to answer the following questions in front. Is everything clear, class?
Yes, teacher.
Let us start with Group 1. Your time starts now. 1. Students do not need to be entertained, they need to be engaged. Good. Okay, next question. 2. What is the other term for information and facts?
Data, teacher.
Good job. Next one please. The second level on Bloom's taxonomy?
It's understanding, teacher.
Right. How about this question? One of the 4 C's to make 21st century education happens.
I knew a teacher. It's collaboration.
Exactly. Next question, the third level of Bloom's taxonomy.
Application, teacher.
Good. Next question, the main objective of 21st century education is to blank students.
Teach.
Great job. How about this question? This is one of the most important source of information.
It's internet, teacher.
Exactly. Next question, you will not be able to chat your friends unless you are
Online.
Next one. A person who has just started learning, an apprentice, a beginner.
Novice teacher.
Good. How about this last question, the 4th level on Bloom's taxonomy?
It's analysis, teacher.
Great job, Group 1. You answered the questions correctly. But let us have this bonus question. What do you call on a small computer that is designed to be easily carried? Bigger than netbook.
It's laptop, teacher.
Great job, Group 1. For the second group, are you ready to answer the following questions?
Yes, teacher. We're ready.
Okay. Let us have now the first question. The main objective of a 21st century teacher is to blank students.
Teach.
Good. Next question. Students do not need to be blank, they need to be engaged.
Entertained, teacher.
Correct. Be alert, remember you only have limited time. For the third one, the last level on Bloom's taxonomy.
Teacher, it's create.
Exactly. How about the 4th question? The man behind the multiple intelligence.
Howard, teacher.
Right. Next question, a person who has just started learning. An apprentice, a beginner.
Novice, teacher.
Good job. How about for this question? A belief that good things will happen in the future?
Optimism, teacher.
Good. It seems that you really know the answer. How about this one? An ICT skill, which starts in letter L.
Linking, teacher.
Exactly. Next question, you will not be able to chat your friends unless you are
Online.
Okay. Let us have this question, one of the search engines available online. It starts with a letter G.
Google, teacher.
Very good. How about this last question? Another search engine available online. It starts with a letter Y.
Yahoo, teacher.
Based on your answers from the activity that we had earlier, what were the words that you have formed?
Educational technology, teacher.
You're exactly right. Actually, some of the questions and answers that you had encountered a while ago have something to do with the lesson for today, which is teaching in the 21st century. Now class, before I present to you a video presentation, I just want to ask one question. Since you're future teachers, how are you going to teach in the 21st century? Okay, that will serve as your guide question while watching the video presentation. That is why you should watch and listen carefully. So, are you ready to watch class?
Yes, teacher, we're ready.
Okay, did you learn something from the video presentation?
Yes, teacher. We really learned a lot.
With that, would you say something about teaching in the 21st century? Any idea on how are you going to teach your 21st century students?
As a 21st century educator, it's very important that I'm very much familiar to my students. I need to be updated with some of the latest things so that I can go along with my students' needs and interests, specifically when it comes to the different gadgets and applications which will help them to learn.
It is just like this kind of comparison. In 20th century, filling the vessel, retelling, information transfer, time-based, textbook-driven, passive learning, while in 21st century, kindling the fire, discovering, learning to learn, outcome-based, research-driven and active learning. Simple as this. In 20th century the teacher is the one who gives all, or what we called the provider, but this time in 21st century, the teacher will only be the one to facilitate learning, or what we called the facilitator.
Would you cite some sources of information, where students can get facts and other data?
Wikipedia, Facebook, YouTube, Bing, blogs and many more.
Very good. If the students can get limitless information from these resources, how does a teacher can help the students, if she will just serve as a facilitator in teaching in the 21st century?
The teacher can help the students by teaching them how to validate information, synthesize information, leverage information, communicate information, collaborate information, and problem solve with information.
Very well said. The teacher can still help the students even though she or he is no longer the source of information, and we all know that if you're a teacher, you have lots of questions in your mind that you want to ask for your students to learn, right?
Yes, teacher.
With all of those available information, should the curriculum be focused on the facts and content or on the skills?
I think teacher, on the skills. The goal of the teacher for students is to apply the knowledge or the learnings that they have learned to a specific scenario like what is being shown in the video. With this they can be able to develop a particular skill.
Right. And based on the video presentation, as a teacher, what type of questions you want to ask to your students if you're going to consider lower order thinking skills and higher order thinking skills?
Teacher, it's better to consider the Bloom's taxonomy in asking questions to the students to enhance more their learnings. Bloom's taxonomy. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create.
Yes, you're correct. Another thing, it stated there that students do not need to be entertained, they need to be engaged. Would you differentiate entertainment from engagement?
In entertainment. Passive. For enjoyment. Short-lived. Doesn't require relevance. Escape from problems. Using the creativity of others. While in engagement. Active, for learning, long-term results, meaningful and applicable, solving problems, using the creativity of the participant.
Very well said. You're exactly right. It seems that you really learned a lot from the video that you have watched a while ago. With that, let us have your activity. Make a 3-stanza poem, explaining the importance of teaching in the 21st century.
Do this activity for 10 minutes.
For the rubrics of this activity: 30% content, 20% relevance, 15% creativity, 35% overall presentation, for a total of 100%. For example, for your quiz, differentiate engagement from entertainment through Graphic Organizer. You only have 5 minutes to do this. For the rubrics of this activity: 35% content, 25% creativity, 40% overall presentation, for a total of 100%. For example, give your own characteristics in differentiating entertainment from engagement. Assignment. Make an advance reading about the classifications of technologies. Goodbye class. Goodbye teacher.